So we decided this week would be Teacher's Choice, and the title of my particular talk today is The Body Scan. During a meditation earlier this week, I made a choice, and it was really a choice point to decide to focus on body sensations. It was easy to do, and it was purposeful. I had been thinking about something that I've thought about countless times, and I was thinking at it in the same way I always think about it, and I thought, no, this is a dead end. I don't want this. We get to make choices in reflective meditation. I made that choice to focus on bodily sensations. Or maybe actually the choice was to not focus on that dead end thing, and my body settled into body sensations. I think that's a little more accurate. This has been well trained in me. I did Ruth Dennison was my teacher for a couple of decades, and the body scan was a primary practice she guided us in for countless hours. And it entails like really sort of going through the body with awareness very systematically. And I was trying to remember, did we go from the head to the toe or the toe to the head? Well, I can't remember. And maybe she did both, but at any rate, it was wherever you began, you went systematically to the other, all the way through the body, trying to perceive the body in its in great detail, very subtle. And as I was thinking about the body scan in this earlier meditation, I thought about, wow, this has really changed. The purpose, why people were teaching the body scan, has really changed from where it was back when I learned it in the 1970s, 80s, till what's in mind, how it's taught in mindfulness, mainstream mindfulness now. And I became quite curious about this. And as I do, when I'm curious, as I start doing some studying, go to my bookshelf, go to, as we call it, Google University, which is now AI. So I'm going to talk about some of my studies now. So Ruth Dennison was taught the body scan by her teacher, Uba Khin, who was teaching in what was then Burma, now Myanmar. And just for reference, Uba Khin was also Goenka's teacher, so you may have heard more about Goenka than Ruth Dennison because he had a much broader influence. So the reference that from where I really learned more about Uba Khin, as well as from Ruth Dennison, etc., was from a book that was put out in 1978. Jack Kornfield compiled a bunch of teachings from, well, the title of the book was Living Buddhist Masters. But when he reprinted it, he had to change the title because most all of them were now dead. I guess that's short-sightedness when you choose a title like that. But he was young, probably wasn't thinking quite that way. Who knows? But then it became, he changed the name to Modern Buddhist Masters. And by the way, they don't seem so modern now. So there we have it. So here's some oh, and something about Uba Khin. Uba Khin was sort of he broke away from the mainstream of his time himself. He worked in government. Here he was a Buddhist teacher, a Buddhist master, but by day he was a government worker. That was quite unusual. As was Ruth Dennison. She was an innovator in her time. And so are we in reflective meditation. We are innovators in our time. But back to the description of the body scan in the book, Living Buddhist Masters. The specific practice consisted, after developing a certain amount of concentration, of passing attention systematically through the body and becoming aware of the physical sensations within it. Observing these sensations, the meditator develops an increasing awareness of anicca, the characteristic of impermanence. When, in Uba Khin's words, anicca is activated, the process of the purification of defilements occurs at the psychophysical continuum that we label human being. The agent or the mode of this purification, Uba Khin referred to as Nibbana Dhatu. The nature of Nibbana Dhatu is difficult to describe because it is not a theoretical aspect or even a conceptual one. It is, in fact, an experience. As one penetrates more deeply into the nature of reality by observing anicca closer and closer to the actual state of impermanence, there arises a different mode, a different element, the literal meaning of dhatu, that on the most basic level comes into contact with defilements and uproots them. So then I went and Googled, because that's how I went and Googled, because that's how you get information these days. Back when, Living Buddhist Masters was written, we couldn't have imagined getting our information from Google, but that was then. Here's some impermanence. This is now. And this description of the body scan will be more familiar to you, which is the primary purpose of the body scan meditation is to cultivate heightened body awareness, fostering a deeper connection between the mind and body. This practice involves systemically focusing attentions on different parts of the body, noticing sensations without judgment, which can lead to stress reduction, improved well-being, and even relief from physical pain. And then there's a lot more that follows it, a breakdown, about what enhancing body awareness leads to, what reducing stress and anxiety, how it improves overall well-being, how it is grounding and centering. And then the summary statement from AI, which never could have been imagined back then. But the body scan is a powerful tool for cultivating self-awareness, reducing stress, and promote overall well-being by fostering a deeper connection between the body and the mind. Wow. So at first, I think the body scan, it has really been regarded differently at different times in different cultures. It's the understanding of it. There's a Nietzsche right there, and the understanding of how the body scan functions. Well, and then my next wondering was, well, is it in the understanding of how it functions, or is it in the languaging of it? Probably both. But there it is, Anicca, right there. Not only in terms of what I'm talking about the purpose or the languaging of the body scan, but also in the lives of these teachers, because it's not just Uba Khin who's no longer alive. Ruth Dennison's no longer alive. Goenka's no longer alive. And the people that they passed on the teachings to, well, we're teaching it differently. We teach it differently in reflective meditation. We don't explicitly teach the body scan. We don't guide you in that meditation process, nor any others as well. But we really are really curious when we talk to you about your meditation, how you experienced Anicca in the meditation, how things change during the process of your meditation. We'll often ask you questions about transitions. One of the functions of that question is to become more aware of things changing, how things do change, of anicca. However you discover it, may it be in your body sensations, in your emotions, they're very fickle, they change a lot, in your thoughts, in your perspectives. It seems to me that this mark of existence, that things are impermanent, that things are changing, can be perceived everywhere or wherever we are able to touch in with awareness. So that will be my ending point for this Dharma talk.